and conditions. Kyle Shanahan, you beautiful, beautiful man.
Yes,
Look what
sir.
you did.
Look at
what
this.
you did. I know it's pending a physical, but there's a lot of excitement on this
it's
end.
exciting news, man.
Congratulations on your new player, pending a physical, I know. And good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. You guys doing all right?
Yeah. Great morning.
Here's the deal. Remember we talked last time, Kyle, about conditional love and unconditional love?
Yeah.
When the 49ers get Christian McCaffrey, it's unconditional love.
There's no conditions around here. Oh.
No, I agree, man. And I thought you guys would be excited, and it's cool to see everyone's reaction so far.
Oh, super pumped. I just need take us through it, okay? Let's go, before we get into kind of how, you see it X's and O's wise, can you bring us the story behind the story? When did you first think you had a shot? What was the turning point when you guys knew you could do it?
Everyone, we hear the same thing that everyone else does. What players are kind of available in the trade market, and it starts to pick up. You start to hear rumblings, a couple of weeks before it happens. So probably about 10 days ago. So we always floated around to each other, but you never you never do like what. Anytime like my wife or someone hears like this guy's available, she's going to get real excited, like, hey, are we getting him? And so it's like there's usually a 2% chance. So when you hear those types of things, you never get too like set on that track, but you kind of just float it around for a few days, for a few weeks, and you see if it heats up. And the more realistic the chances get, the more we talk about it. And I think in the last couple of days, it started to seem like we always knew it made sense for us, but you got to see how you're going to get there, who you're competing with, and things like that. And in the last couple of days, we kind of saw that we had a chance to compete for them, and it turned up here. And I wish I could say that I was doing anything, but I'm not doing anything. So this isn't me. I'm sitting here coaching this team, getting ready for the Chiefs, and John's been working the phones, dealing with Carolina here for the last 48 hours, and keeps telling me we got a chance. It's getting close, and I'm sitting down here last night just finishing up red zone and stuff, and right towards the end, I find out that we got it done, and I'm pretty excited, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
What was if you can help us out, maybe a little reaction? If we were doing like a 30 for 30 and they were rolling film in your office, was there a
we
jump,
get a fist pump? Yeah.
a hug? What did we get?
No, it was more a big smile, and then like, all right, I got to go back and redo third downs, redo red zone, redo everything.
Awesome.
And then it was like, wait a second, he's still got to come and pass a physical. He's not going to be at practice, and then so I'm still up in the air on whether we're going to be able to get him here for Sunday or not.
Right.
I know for sure he'll be here the following Sunday, but that's kind of what I'm just kind of in a wait and see approach right now. I'm trying to finish all my stuff up. I'm going to start meeting with the players here in an hour. I'm sure Christian's in the air right now, and hopefully that physical will go all right, and then I'm sure I'll see him after practice, and we'll just see where he's at and go from there.
So the official word right now is unsure about Sunday. There's no yes, no.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not sure at all. This happened so fast, and we got to see where he's at, and it's not a physical issue. He's been practicing all week out there, so he's ready in that way. But he's not going to get a practice in with us. He's never even seen our playbook, doesn't know the words or anything. And but Christian is a pretty naturally good football player. I think he picks things up fast, and so we'll just see how it goes here in the next 48 hours.
Just a couple of fun little things. We talked about this on the show, and everybody's going to talk about this with you in the media, is the connection. You literally have known him since he was a little kid. And we know your father, Mike Shanahan, coached Ed McCaffrey in a Super Bowl season, right? So here it is, the two sons of Ed and Mike.
Pretty cool. Yeah, it
how
really
much
is.
does this mean to you, setting aside X's and O's? How much does this mean to you on a personal level?
It's pretty cool. It's eerie in that way. Everyone acts like says I babysat Christian. I can't quite remember ever babysitting. I remember my sister babysitting all the time, but I remember always after Bronco games and stuff, like throwing balls to them as we waited for our dads to finish up. But it was a group of 4 crazy boys who were very young. So I didn't know them very well, but Ed was like my hero. Ed was the dude I wanted to be. I was a receiver. He was a receiver, and that's why I chose 87 when I went to college, because I always wanted to be that type of receiver. Wasn't quite at all like that, but that's what I tried to be. So that's I always knew him well, and I knew Lisa well, just being around there all the time. And then, once we came here, it was crazy just to really study Christian coming out of Stanford there. They always give me a bunch of crap for not taking him. Mm-hmm. And I talked to Christian last night, and it was cool to just tell him this was our plan the whole time along. We knew we would have him 6 years later, so why take him then?
That's pretty funny. I mean, it is wild that the connection is awesome, and to think that you guys are now going to be together. And so now you got to come in with the real look now. It's so positive on so many levels, and yet the one cloud is his injuries. He missed 23 of 33 games in 2020 and 2021. To the best of your knowledge, how important was his health record when you guys made this move? Because obviously you traded a lot. What would you say to the fans about his injury concern versus, what you guys expect you're getting?
Yeah, I have, it is like everything, and I know that's a concern, but I have an injury concern about every single player on our team, and it happens, and that's really the riskiest part of our sport. If I always thought with every player, I think I'd be frozen and never be able to make a decision. Mm-hmm. So that is the toughest thing about our deal, and that's why you never can get too high or too low, whatever your team situation is, whatever you think your team is. That's changing every single day, and you got to be able to adjust to that. And that's why it's great to get Christian here, who I know can help us out a ton in the run game. I think he can help us out a ton in the pass game. I think he's going to be great in protections. But I also know we better have some other really good backs too, because this is football and this stuff happens. And I see the same at tight end, receiver. You don't like to see it that way at quarterback, but you look at our 6 years here, and it's been that way at quarterback for us every year except for one. So injuries are going to happen. That's why we got to have depth. But I know when you look at a player like Christian, medically coming out of college, we had the highest medical grade on him of any player we've ever got since we've been here. He never had injuries. He was the cleanest guy that we could have. I know that started that way for 2 years in the NFL. I know these last 2 years or the first 3 years, I believe. I know these last 2 years haven't been the same. But watching him this year, he's back to his full health. Looks like the same guy as coming out of college. And I know we got a tough guy who handles it right, who takes care of his body as good as anyone can. I put him on that Bosa type level, and just that he's been kind of the way he was raised, the way he's looked at everything. It's just 100% commitment to being the best he can be at what he does, and he's been doing that since he was probably 3 years old.
Niners fans love to show up big for their team. And as the official healthcare partner of the San Francisco 49ers, Dignity Health has the same winning attitude in mind. Our doctors and nurses are dedicated to helping you stay healthy and fit so you can do more of the things you love. Because doing the things you love is what matters most. The official healthcare partner for the San Francisco 49ers, Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. Niners fans love to show up big for their team. As the official healthcare partner of the San Francisco 49ers, Dignity Health has the same winning attitude in mind. Our doctors and nurses are dedicated to helping you stay healthy and fit so you can do more of the things you love. Because doing the things you love is what matters most. The official healthcare partner for the San Francisco 49ers, Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
Hey, everybody, Brian Murphy here for Provident Credit Union. And Provident Credit Union helps your money grow faster. Take their 18-month term share certificate. It includes a competitive rate of 3.01% annual percentage yield. Yeah, that's 3.01%. And with a short-term savings investment period, you get the flexibility to manage your money and earn dividends in the process. So start growing your savings faster today. Provident Credit Union has served the local Bay Area community for over 70 years and is committed to financial safety and soundness. Visit them at any of their 21 local Provident community branches and open an account today. That rate is effective August 23, 2022. Limited time offer, minimum balance requirement of $10,000, and must be funds that have not been on deposit for the last 60 days. Early withdrawal penalty may apply. Federally insured by the NCUA. Visit providentcu.org for terms and conditions.
Right, Kyle. And, Kyle, to your point about having complementary pieces in the backfield to, round out the Christian McCaffrey workload, Eli Mitchell will be back pretty soon, we're hearing, in a few weeks, hopefully. So fingers crossed on that. And Jeff Wilson's had a lot of work this year. So if you've been able to get your hands or your head around that, like, how do you see the backfield looking? Would that turn into a rotation of sorts with Jeff Wilson Jr. and Eli Mitchell when Eli's ready to go again?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's yet. I mean, I think of that based off of when that time comes, who is available, what defenses we're playing, and how to just really figure out how to win the game. And I know, like, people get so excited with all this stuff, which we do too. My biggest thing as a coach is not to get caught up in, hey, we have to showcase this guy, we have to showcase that guy, we got to get this guy as targets, we got to get that guy as targets. When you start thinking that way, you get in trouble, and you just don't really focus on what's the best way to win. We got a lot of good receivers. We got some good tight ends. We got some good running backs. And you attack a defense, you try to deploy them the best way you can. And usually it ends up taking care of itself in the long run if you play good football. But I'm just glad that there's not many wrong decisions you can make when you get those guys out there on really who does get the ball.
Did you talk to him at all when you guys were back in Carolina 2 weeks ago?
No, I didn't talk to him. I come out to pregame pretty late, so I don't talk to many people, and then usually right after the game, I'm right into the locker room to talk to our team, so I don't socialize too much on game day.
So when you had to game plan for him, you now know that teams have to game plan for him along with all the other receivers you mentioned. How difficult are you making life on opposing defenses now?
Oh, you make it difficult when you have guys who can do a lot of things, and Christian's someone who can attack in every single way. It's very similar to Debo in that way. So that it gives you another option, gives defenses more things to worry about, and usually that makes everyone's job easier. I
mean, did you sleep last night?
I did, because I knew I had all this stuff I had to get done before I talked to you guys.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to stay asleep, so I got up early. But yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm pumped to have this just like everyone else, and let's get it going.
Obviously, I know you said it was John's deal in terms of the terms, but and it's not your job is to X and O and win the football game on the grass. But a part of you also is concerned with the draft picks and everything, wondering about the cost. What's your message to the 49ers fans out there about the cost that you guys paid? Because, hey, my dad told me everything in life is a trade-off. You get something, you give up something. You give up something, you get something. You guys made a hell of a trade-off here. What do you think about the trade-off? How do you value the trade-off? Because those are a lot of picks.
Yeah, I look at it as a second round, a third round, and a fourth round pick. You look at the history of those, no matter really any team, whether it's our history or whether it's any other team's history, and the chances at each one of those picks becoming a player that you want a second contract for, or a player who has a chance to be a Pro Bowl player, I'm just throwing it out there, but I'm guessing less than 25%. At least. And so you look at all those, and you can spend 3 picks in the second, third, and fourth. You even look into top 10 picks over the history, and it's less than 50%. So you have all these things that, yeah, they're great commodities. It's great to have these draft picks and stuff. That's how you build your team. That's how we've built our team here, is through the draft. But when you have a guaranteed guy, and you don't have to worry about taking 3 picks, hoping that one of them can come the shot. You just go get that guy. That's something that I feel you never look back on. It's rare that you can get those opportunities. And yeah, there's injuries and stuff that go into it, but that's the same as draft picks too. When you draft, we've drafted some really good players here who end up having some bad luck with injuries. So I look at it all the same, but what I do know is we know what he can do, and we know how good of a player he is at the NFL level. So there's no risk there, and I'll take that any day.
I hear you. I said it's one way to look at it is you guys drafted Trey Lance and Christian McCaffrey, right? That's kind of just one way to spin it.
I like that. I'm good with that.
You know what I mean? Right. We can.
I mean, it's like, who'd the Niners get in the draft? Well, they got Trey Lance and Christian McCaffrey. The other thing would be, and I know you got to go, Kyle, but just his future, I think, and I know you're not in the weeds in the contract, but it is your general understanding this is not a rental, that he would be on your team next year also?
Yes. Yeah, this is not a rental. I mean, that's the stuff that is tough to where, we did that for Emmanuel.
Yes, right.
In the year we were trying to make the run, and we didn't want it to be a rental. I mean, he was someone we were really hoping to re-sign the next year.
Yeah.
But you realize, just going through that, I realized how difficult that is. So that was something that you think about in this time, and that was something that I know, at least for me, and definitely John, that was so much more enticing, knowing if we got him just contractually and stuff, he's going to be here. We don't have to be risking this come February.
Man, so we're excited. We're thrilled. It's why we're in the sports world. It's why we do this stuff, is to have bold moves. I guess the last one for you is what role the Rams played in this. Like, two ways. A, they were the competition, according to Adam Schefter. And B, did you maybe learn a little bit from their risk, the famous blank them picks, and they won a Super Bowl by trading for Jalen Ramsey and Von Miller and Matthew Stafford? Did that affect you guys at all?
You learn from everything. It's not just like that. That's like, all right, that's the way to do it. I mean, I love watching everyone make moves, and you get to sit and see how it helps and how it hurts. I mean, I've seen that the Rams have done it more than anyone. But if you just look over the 6 years we've been here, a lot of teams have done that more. I mean, I always go back to like just Seattle trading those 2 ones, for Jamal. And what a good player he was, and they got him, and fortunately they were able to re-sign him, so they were able to keep him. But you look at a lot of stuff like that, and that's why, growing up, you looked at, you couldn't make a trade for anything.
Right.
There was just this understanding or unwritten rule that a draft pick was worth more than anything. And then you start to see people do some stuff, and you see how it works out. And sometimes it works out really good, and sometimes it doesn't. That's why there are no absolutes in this business. Mm-hmm. But you start to realize that, hey, it isn't an absolute that draft pick is always the right answer. Mm-hmm. You're going to find out in the future whether it was right or wrong, but that's stuff that you got to look into. And if you feel that it makes sense, if you believe that it's the right guy for your team, then you should be aggressive in that area.
It's incredible. I just think next week, I know you got the Chiefs, and it's a big game. We didn't even get to talk about it, but it's going to be a huge game. But next week you go to L.A. Here's my deal. And I know we're goofy, we're silly, you're serious about football, but I do want you to look over at Sean McVay at some point during pregame warmups. Have Christian standing right next to you and just give him a little chin raise. Yeah. What's up?
See?
Just say what's up, man.
This is how I'm doing it.
What's up, Sean?
This is how we're doing it. Yeah.
Can you promise me that?
I don't know if I'm going to promise you that.
Okay, I understand.
I think he's been in that position a lot, so I'm not going to sit there and gloat on ours.
Just a simple what's up. Just say, hey, what's up?
Well, we'll know you're thinking that, though, at least.
Just have Christian standing right next to you as your punter is working as Wisnowski's punting or something. You know what I mean? So anyway, we're goofy, I know.
Well, that's why I come out late. I don't see it.
You don't want to get involved, right? No, definitely.
Leave it to the morning idiots to do stuff like that.
I always mess with everyone. When I'm trying to find people and they say they're out on the field, I'm just like, what are people passing out their business cards and networking? Like, don't we have a game coming up?
Right. No, yeah, they're talking to their agent about their next move. You're like, I'm trying to make a first down here. So, well, sorry we didn't talk about the Chiefs. I mean, that's going to be a hell of a game in and of itself. But boy, oh boy, did you guys rock the Bay. This goes down as one of the biggest trades.
Man.
Yeah. We're talking Fred Dean 1981 type stuff here. All right. So, great, Kyle. Thanks for the thrill. 49ers fans are very excited this morning. The conditional love is back, and we wish you well on Sunday.
Yeah,
and look forward to our
Coach.
next conversation.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks. Talk to you later.
There he is, Kyle Shanahan on KMBR 104.5.
The Niners know that winning and teamwork go hand in hand. As the official health